Hey divas and chicas, how y'all doing? Hope your day's going well. I just want to say, hey everybody, we made it. We made it to Friday. So do what you gotta do. Relax how you gotta relax this weekend. You earned it, all right? But don't go too hard. Don't go too hard, all right? Be mindful. Anyway, today I just wanted to say a few things before we get right into the video. We are first going to be talking about Dead by Daylight and some IPs that I want to come in the game. With that being said, I will be flashing up some photos. I personally don't think they're that gruesome, but if you get queasy, if you just feel any type of way about said photos, by all means, please look away. You can watch this video like a podcast if need be. And yeah, I just wanted to bring that to y'all's attention. And without further ado, I hope you enjoy the video, and I will see y'all later. All right, I'll let Pasty Side take it away now. Bye. Alrighty, hello everybody. So today we're going to be talking about IPs that I want to come to DBD. Alrighty, so without further ado, let's get right into this. I'm very excited. Alright, so the first one, I just want to get out of the way because everybody low-key wants this one. We already have the rest of the horror icons, so we want him. And if you haven't caught on, it's Jason Voorhees. I think that Friday the 13th is such a thing that, like, we really want it in the game, but obviously with the rights issues that, like, his own game couldn't even last, you know? So we don't want another Pinhead scenario on our hands where we have the killer for, like, a little bit and then he leaves, you know? Honestly, at that point, I would honestly have them, you know, I would rather have them get him so that at least some people can have him at the very minimum. But even then, it just sucks because, like, new players aren't going to be able to get Pinhead, you know what I mean? So we don't want this to, we don't want to retread that ground with Jason Voorhees. With that being said, though, Jason Voorhees has so much to offer. He has all these costumes, which I'll flash on the screen right now, and he just has such a back catalog of things that he's in that you can really pick and choose from, and he'd be great for the game, in my opinion. I just think he'd be great. And at that point, we'd had Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Scream, and, well, Ghostface, and Jason Voorhees, and I think that's just, like, so insane. That would be, like, you know, it really would cement DBD as the Horror Hall of Fame, and I think that's so fun. Next, so with that being said, let's get right into the actual, I guess, list. So we have The Grudge, right? The Grudge is one of my favorite horror IPs, but I was thinking, like, critically about it, and honestly, it would be kind of hard to do because the girl from The Grudge, I'm blanking on her name, I know it starts with a K, but the girl from The Grudge, she would play very similar to Sayako, or Sadako, I don't know why I said Sayako, Sadako. And I think that is probably the reason she's not in the game, because they look similar, they would probably play similar, and I guess the only difference would be how you, like, come across them, because, you know, Kayako, I believe her name is, but yeah, the Grudge girl can't go through TVs, so it would be a bit strange, but that's why she's at the bottom of the list. I don't know how they would implement it, but it would be really cool to see both of them in the game. Her and Sadako. Next, we have The Predator. So I think that Alien vs. Predator is, you know, one of the coolest movies that I saw as a kid. But just in general, we have the Xenomorph, and I feel like the other half of that equation is the Predator. Now, just in Predator 2, the movie, there are a bunch of them. I will flash a image on screen showing them. And there is so much, like, in-depth. It even comes to mind the most recent, I think, Predator movie. I don't know if there was a more recent one than that, but the last one that I remember is where it was, like, Primal, and I'll try to find a photo of that one too. But yeah, so that's a really cool rendition of the Predator, and I think that a gimmick, I guess you could call it, his game part that he would have, his gameplay would consist of thermal vision and giving the survivors a way to kind of, like, cloak, and I don't know why I said coat, but cloak and make it harder for him. And I think that would be really, really fun. Another character that has a bunch of different costumes available, and I think that it's only a matter of time till we get him in the game. Next, we're gonna talk about Slenderman. All right, so we know Slenderman. We know that there was a movie. We know that the whole drama that the stupid girls that they did that shit. All that. Unfortunately, I feel like there is a lot of controversy around Slenderman because of what happened. So I don't know if he would come to the game, but at the same time, if he did, I feel like it would be just that horror icon, you know what I mean? Before Freddy Fazbear, there was Slenderman. And the fact that we're getting FNAF, which I'm so excited for, by the way, want to make a whole video about things I want from that collab. But Slenderman is just such a horror icon, and I really hope that someday we can get him in the game. But yeah, so I think that he would just look very menacing, very tall, and when the tentacles come out, because they have Kaneki now that has essentially tentacles, so that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I think he'd work really well. Next, we have the Ink Demon from Bendy and the Ink Machine. Another one that I think is very cool. Now, he doesn't necessarily have to be his own killer. Even if they had like just a little collab and made him a skin for the artist, because she's already partly ink, that would be amazing. Literally, that would be stunning. I love it. I think it'd be so cool. And yeah, he's one of the like lesser characters, and I'm not trying to like put him down. I just mean in the sense that I don't think he could hold a whole killer chapter by his own, but definitely at least a skin. Next we have this is a bit weird one. This is Leprechaun, and if you haven't seen the old like 90s movies, by all means watch them. But I think it'd be so funny because it would be the Leprechaun killer. It would be the St. Patrick's Day. Like whenever St. Patty's Day would come around every March, there would be an uptick on him getting picked. And I think it would just add a bunch of like cool aspects. He is smaller, so I don't know, maybe doing something like with Chucky, like that kind of camera angle and stuff. But yeah, I think it would work great. He has, his different leprechaun outfits, and I think it'd be really cool. Next, we have I call these like the top three, or rather like the main three, because these are universal monsters, right? We have Dracula, which crosses off vampire. Technically, we have a werewolf in the Twisted, the Unknown, with the little like Red Riding Hood outfit. But I want to see the Mummy, Frankenstein, and Wolfman all come to the game. I will be throwing up photos. I think that it's just such a cool and classic monster that we don't have in the game yet, and I was very surprised by that. A werewolf being the Wolfman, maybe he phases, and when he's not as a werewolf, he doesn't have a killer radius or a terror radius, or when he becomes a wolf, he gets way more agile. Like, I think it'd be really cool. With Frankenstein, technically you could kind of say that our Frankenstein is the doctor, because the electricity and the experimentation, but even then I don't think that counts. I really want just your classic Frankenstein, and easy color palette swap. Easy cheap costume is his green version and his black and white version. Easy, easy, easy. And then lastly for this main three is the Mummy. I think that the Mummy would be so cool. I love that series of movies. Didn't really like the newest one, but it's okay. I think that genuinely the Mummy would be such a cool kind of very aesthetic kind of season, or I call it a season, a chapter. It'd be really dope. It'd be really cool. I really think that they could do a lot with the Mummy and give him like a map in maybe the Forgotten Realm, or wherever the Crow map is. But yeah, and then lastly, and this is the one that I want to talk about for a bit, is the Gray Aliens. I love aliens. I love aliens so much. Literally one of my best friend of all time is obsessed with aliens, and we talk about it all the time. And with that being said, I think that aliens are just such a, why aren't they in the game? You could say that we have the alien, which is the xenomorph, and you could say that the singularity would maybe count as an alien, but I don't think so. I want a gray alien. I want the alien that, from the Gray Hill incident. I'll flash up a photo. If you haven't played that game, play that game. It's so fun. But I want a gray alien. I think it would look so cool and so stellar. Give us like fire in the skies type beat. Like it'd be so dope. Maybe the map could be like a whole UFO, like a big UFO that you're in. Oh, that'd be so cool. But yeah, no, I think that these are just, simple little things that I really want to see come to the game. And yeah, those were my thoughts, and I hope that you enjoyed. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.